What's the one thing that I want to accomplish today if I don't get to do anything else? If nothing else, this one thing has to get done. That's the highlight. Oh, hey. Hey, it's Josh again. All right, so today we are going to discuss why checking off a to-do list, why having things on a task, a list to check off, mark off, scratch off throughout your day is so beneficial for you. So I am a big proponent of just being productive. That's been a cornerstone in my life, trying to get things done in the most productive, efficient manner possible. One of the things I've done for the longest time, aside from journaling, is having a to-do list. Now, the manner in which that to-do list would exist has changed, and I've been refining that. We're going to talk about how we have that set up, how I have that set up currently, how that may work for you. And what's so good about having a to-do list is I get to see exactly, what I'm wanting to achieve. And by the end of the day, I can kind of get a better bird's eye view of how my day went. I was reading an article that actually touched on the physiological aspect, why checking off a to-do list works so well for us. And I'll have a link to the article in the description so you can see more about that. They touch on many other things that I like. Checking off a to-do list pretty much gives a shot of dopamine. That makes us feel good, makes us feel accomplished. It gives us motivation to actually do more, to get more things done. Okay, so now that we have an understanding that it is very important, it is very beneficial, it is very helpful, you get to have a bird's eye view of what you're going to do for the day. And having a to-do list, for me personally, gives me the opportunity to have a memory, have it written down on paper, what I did accomplish, because otherwise, without that sort of concrete evidence of what I've done, if it's just about the mental, how I feel about what I got done in the day, that's a whole different thing. I could have done 10 different things in the day, and then by the end of the day, still beat myself up, still feel bad because I didn't get this other thing done that was pretty important. Instead of feeling good about those 10 things over the one I didn't do, I'm sulking and beating myself up over that one thing. But having this to-do list helps to acknowledge the things that have been done and gives me opportunity to assess what has not been done. So here are a couple of things you can do before you start your to-do list. So the first thing is add anything and everything. This is going to be the easiest thing for you. This is going to help to fill out your to-do list. There are several things you're already doing each and every day. There are certain routines you have in place. There are certain tasks, certain chores you have to work on, different things that you are doing very consistently, and even things you may not be doing consistently, but they're on your mind. Anything that's on your mind to do for the day, whether it's as small as make the bed, as big as making a phone call to a friend, whatever that may be, put it on a to-do list. Like add everything. You have that freedom. I'm giving you that freedom. Know that you can have all those things on your to-do list. All right, so the second thing is to categorize your to-do items. So the reason why we're going to want to categorize them is you want to kind of break them down based on level of difficulty or time, scale, whatever that may be for you, so that your to-do list is broken down in a little more of an achievable way. You're not seeing just all to-dos that all seem like they have the same amount of importance, because really don't. Let's be honest. You're going to have one task that's like way up there. You're going to have a few tasks that are like, I can be happy if I don't complete them. So bonus for what we're doing before we start our to-do list. If you want to set the task in order of appearance, that's perfectly fine. If that works for you, then great. But keep in mind that Some things you may have to be a little more flexible with. You may have some smaller tasks that actually work better in a certain order, in tandem and congruently with your larger task. And that may happen in a way that you weren't really prepared for. So be flexible in moving around those different tasks throughout the day. So let's look at how that's broken down. So the first tier is going to be like your large task. I would suggest having just one large task for the day, something that's going to be probably the hardest thing to do, which is related to the eat the frog concept. And I'll probably touch on that in a different video. It could be the most important task. Like for me today, one of the most important tasks for me is to record this YouTube video talking about a to-do list and why it's important. So that's going to be under the large category. I have it listed as H, as in highlight, as in the highlight of the day. So that being, what's the one thing that I want to accomplish today if I don't get to do anything else? If nothing else, this one thing has to get done. That's the highlight. The second tier, the medium tasks, you're going to want to have 3 of those. So 3 medium tasks. They are going to still be important for you. Not quite as grand as the main task. Not too small a task, but some things that still require some amount of time and effort to get done. So for me, I would have things typically like working out for 10, 15 minutes, reading a chapter of a book, my downtime. Today I also have to start packing for our trip this weekend. And then the third tier, we're gonna have 5 small tasks. So these are gonna be more leisurely, possibly, things that may take just a few minutes to get done, things that aren't quite that important, depending on what you're looking at. And if you don't accomplish these things, they're like the most forgivable, I would say. So for me, I have things like make the bed in the morning, Duolingo lessons, I have tend to the plants, I have to sort the mail, and then make a cold brew for tomorrow. All right, so now we have a good example. I know that my to-dos are very interesting. Your to-dos are going to be interesting for you as well. But now that we have that sort of set template, we have an idea of what we're going to do. Let's look at how this is going to look at the end of the day. So after you have accomplished, or after you have finished the day, we're going to look at that to-do list. This is what we do after the day has been finished. So the first thing, the main thing, the overall thing you want to do is to just review your list. Look back at it. That's what it's there for. We have it there physical on paper, whether on or digital. First, look at the things that you have accomplished, all the things you got to check off, and acknowledge those things. We have to get in the habit of actually celebrating the accomplishments that we have. Even the small things, the smallest things we still have to celebrate because we got them done. They could have been pushed on the back burner. We could have procrastinated, pushed those things off, but we were productive today. Got those things done. Pat on the back. We're good to go. And now we're going to look at those things that we may not have accomplished. So first, as you see those things not checked off, not scratched off, get in the habit of forgiving yourself, being self-forgiving for having not accomplished those things, first and foremost. So we don't want to beat ourselves up. We don't want to negative reinforce some kind of feeling of, I should have done this, should have done that, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But what we want to do instead is be more constructive. So we want to look at why we did not achieve those things, whether it was some of the small tasks or even the bigger tasks that we really should have gotten done. But, there could have been something external like a family emergency. You might have had some other tasks that just took priority. I don't believe in, I didn't have time for that. That's an excuse that no longer flies. That I don't have time thing is just a myth. We all have the same 24 hours. And it really just depends on what we do with that time. So it's not, I didn't have time for that. It wasn't a big enough priority to work on, which is fine. Again, don't beat yourself up. Don't feel bad. You may have had other things that had a bigger priority that took more time or effort than you might have planned. I've done that plenty of times. That's why we have to have these different tiers so we don't have too many large tasks to overwhelm the rest of our day. But also consider, was that task too hard to do? Were there other things that were required before getting that task done? In a different video that actually is coming up pretty soon, talk about friction. So was there some friction, some kind of barrier between you and that task that made it hard to even get started or get accomplished? Now, as you begin to do this day to day, week to week, notice, just pick up on certain patterns you may have. There may be some things that you have on your to-do list, so certain routines that you intend to do, you have on your list every day, but repeatedly they aren't getting done. And begin to notate or journal, whatever it is, assess why it's not getting done consistently. Maybe you're intending on doing it at the wrong time of day, and usually around that time, you have to actually get up for the day and go work out instead, or some other factor, whether internal or external, is preventing that from getting done consistently. So consider changing when you get that done, how you get that done, so that it is reprioritized and can actually get done each day. And a bonus for what we're doing after, as we are reviewing our list, one thing I really like doing is writing one thing that will be high leverage. What is one thing that you can do tomorrow that'll be high leverage? Meaning it'll have a high impact for your day. There's a high upside and a low downside. So it may be something that takes less effort but yields better results. Whatever that may be for you, whether that's something within your household, within your projects, within your business, whatever that may be, think about that the night before, and that may end up being the next day's highlight. The biggest task, most important task, could be the highest leveraging task of the day. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that you can start to implement a to-do list in your everyday life. I know my to-do list is changing, it is progressing. I'm fine-tuning it, working on different things. So I may have a different video later on that may touch on some other elements that we can include within our to-do list, or it may just be related to our overall morning routine. I do certain things before the to-do list. It's like journaling and things of that nature that help to steer my mindset for the things I want to get done for the day. In the meantime, if you found this information helpful, I want you to comment below and tell me what's one thing that you could get done today. What's one thing that you would put on your sort of highlight, what is that large task you have for the day? And if you want to know more about how having this to-do list is going to be crucial and helpful in helping you to achieve your goals, click on this link below. You see this website here, and I'll have that link in the description as well. Visit my website to learn more. That's all I got for you today. Deuces.